Bioware blacklisting content creators who have negative opinions on Dragon Age Veilguard, streamers changing their gender in order to gain early access to the game, and leaked screenshots confirming what the playtester who broke their NDA warned us about. Dragon Age Veilguard is looking to be one of the biggest disasters in modern gaming. Hello, my name is Shane Gamez. I talk about stuff that people get mad about, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. And for my returning viewers, welcome back and get ready to be disappointed. Early reviews of Dragon Age the Veilguard is suggesting that the game is in a far worse state than what people believe. This video will focus on the early reactions with content creators getting early review copies of the game. On my last video, I focused on every controversy surrounding Dragon Age, and although I won't go into detail in this video, I highly suggest everyone go and watch my last video to get up to date with the latest controversy and setbacks with the production of Dragon Age Veilguard. Link in the description. On October 21st, a video posted by YouTuber Neon Knight that would go into detail about his experiences with early access to the game. Neon Knight put in 7 hours of gameplay, to which he gave his opinion on the state of the game. Some of the biggest takeaways from his video would be some of his quotes regarding the change in direction of the game. Neon Knight would say, "So, with Dragon Age the Veilguard, there's been a lot of attempts, in my opinion, to convince the general public that this game is something that it really isn't. To convince you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears, what you've been seeing in trailers and previews, and believe that Dragon Age DNA in Veilguard, specifically its gameplay, is anything more than a very thin coat of paint." Neon would further go to complain about how the combat in Dragon Age is purely action-based and not what Dragon Age longtime fans are coming to see. He would go on to say, combat and exploration is full-blown, or at least 85% of God of War 2018 Warship. This new Dragon Age is all about the action, building up a rage meter to release an ultimate, getting your perfect parries in, shield throws, talismans that activate special abilities, plenty of pots to break, and chests to open. You get it. The point is, somebody really liked God of War 2018 and said, why don't we just do that and be done with it? Neon Knight goes on to share, incredibly disappointed when I found out that Veilguard allows you to import a grand total of, wait for it, 0 choices from Origins, 0 choices from Dragon Age 2, and just 3 from Inquisition, the game that Veilguard is a direct sequel to. Now, we know this from my previous video. Both Corrine Bush and John Epler wanted to step away from the story of Dragon Age and its predecessors to focus on a new story about your companions. Neon would further add, he believes this is an attempt of a soft reboot, trying to minimize every direct tie to the past in an attempt to avoid scaring off no Dragon Age fans. However, as Neon puts it, it's reducing it to a shell of itself. He would later criticize the freedom of the game by saying it's a very linear game, or at least it feels that way 99% of the time. This spelt bad news for Bioware days before their launch. Bioware then would go on to make some controversial moves and preventing players from reviewing the game in a fear that they may get another Neon Knight video. On October 25th, a YouTuber named WolfHeartFPS would make a post on Twitter expressing Bioware's ghosting or blacklisting creators from reviewing the game. WolfHeart's post would read, 3 creators, myself included, were a bit more critical than others with our hands-on time with Dragon Age the Veilguard. Not a single one of us will be getting a review code with the time to actually give opinions before released. Just thought I would throw that out there. He would later go on to add, please keep in mind folks that this does not mean that my more critical opinion is better or more truthful than those who have been more positive. I'm just simply pointing out how marketing works. This also doesn't mean the game will be bad, but it is something to consider. WolfHeart posted a video back on September 19th titled Mixed mixed impressions after playing Dragon Age the Veilguard early. He ends his video with saying, overall, initial impression-wise, this game is pulling me in so many different directions, and it leaves me very conflicted, and I don't really see any world where this could be like my game of the year or anything like that. However, WolfHeart still expresses he is excited to get back into the game and play it. But even with this small criticism in this video where he still expresses he is still buying it and excited to play, Bioware chose not to send him a review code. This is more likely due to him not being overly positive in his original video. On October 27th, a Spanish-speaking streamer named Natalia would make a post on Twitter. Bioware just sold his soul to the devil. I just had to say I was a non-binary woman and they gave it to me. Get ready for the mega review soon or tomorrow. In another post, she goes on to explain a little bit more detail how she got the review code. She writes, "They just gave me one and I convinced the PR to be a non-binary woman. That was all. But believe me, from now on, I will be blacklisted." After 3 hours of gameplay, Natalia would make another post about her experiences into Dragon Age, hitting on a lot of points such as terrible graphics, boring, and monotonous combat. They want to copy God of War, but in a bad way. Many of the dialogues are noticeably made with AI. The creator of the characters focused on the trans and LGBT community. Too much focus on homosexuality, lesbians, and drags. She ends the post with this statement: "It's an effing piece of garbage as an RPG. Stay away from this game. Don't even buy it on sale. It's a pile of putrefaction created by people who have no effing idea about video games. Uninstalled it already. F your mother." She would then add to the post, "This game will be the tombstone of Bioware," something that I suggested in my latest video regarding the production hell this game has gone through. My last video looked into the playtester who broke his NDA and expressed his frustration with the YouTuber Nure. In that video, we talked about how Bioware's focused on your pronouns, gender, and sexuality, primarily focusing on the companion named Tash. On October 28th, Nure would provide proof of this claims with screenshots. In a post on Twitter, she would share, "For anyone still on the fence about what I mean when I say this game is woke, and it will let you know every single turn. Having diverse characters is not being woke. Having fantasy characters use modern day language is being woke." The post had 2 images. The first one has Tash, the companion in question, saying non-binary. "I just said I am going to use they instead of she from now on." In the second image, it has the Bioware's dialogue choice wheel with the option called gender identity. Nure would make another post, "Bioware is dead and the shields have killed it," with an image of Rook saying, "Take a long hard look into it, kid. It'll always show the face of a hero who can get it done." Under it reads, "Establish transgender identity and unlock new dialogue options in future conversations." This image is telling players that becoming transgender can unlock new options in the game, not aligning yourself with a faction or building up your level or doing a secret quest or working on your charisma skills, but changing your sexuality and gender can and will affect more options in the games for different stories, suggesting that you have to become something you don't want to be in order to enjoy the game to its fullest. Nure would further go on to provide even more proof to back the playtesters' claims, with a screenshot of Neve and Tash speaking. "Some of my friends in Forthos talk about not feeling comfortable in their own skin as a man, as a woman." Yet again, focusing on the sexual identity and not the story of Dragon Age, something we know that Corinne Bush and John Epler wanted to focus on based on their interviews in the past. past. Remember, Corinne Bush is on record of saying, as a queer trans woman, I have perspective on the games that not everyone has. Dragon Age has long been a place where LGBTQIA+ folks can see people like themselves represented respectfully, and it's inherently very queer, and it's such a rare thing for marginalized communities to have representation where we feel proud and powerful in how we are depicted. In my personal opinion, it is sad to see Bioware has chosen to go on this path. After amazing games like Mass Effect and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, Bioware not giving out codes to anyone who may be critical of the game shows fear and weakness. They know what we all are thinking. This could be the end of Bioware if this game flops, coupled with the fact a person got a review copy because they chose to identify as non-binary, shows exactly where the mindset of the Dragon Age team is. So it's not a surprise that the screenshots getting leaked and confirming what the playtester that broke their NDA is true. They say, write what you know, and from what I see, the writers only know identity politics and know nothing of fantasy and Dragon Age. At the time of this video, IGN has given Dragon Age a 9 out of 10, with other sites like Kotaku saying this may be Bioware's best fantasy RPG, which comes to no surprise, as these are the most woke and disconnected websites in the gaming space. Typically, good reviews from these sites means a death sentence for the game. Just take a look at Concord, Dustborn, and Star Wars Outlaws, games highly praised by these sites, and all of them either having no player base at all or totally shutting down. Gamers are fed up with this push to be woke and a constant reminder that they aren't the fans these companies want unless they are willing to change their beliefs in order to enjoy the game to the fullest. For those looking for a good RPG this holiday season, save yourself a headache and pick up Mario and Luigi's Brothership. This is the 6th installment into the series and developed by Acquire, the same people who brought you Tenchu, Stealth Assassins, Way of the Samurai, which is a great game by the way, and a little game you may have heard of, Octopath Traveler, the game that redesigned and brought pixel RPGs back from the dead and reinvented how we experience sprite-based games. Mario and Luigi is going to be a blast, and I'm super excited to get back into the Mario RPG world. Nintendo knows what they're doing from keeping physical media alive and keeping out DEI. What do you guys think? Are you buying the new Dragon Age Veilguard, or are you done with the series? Are you going to get Mario and Luigi's Brothership? Tell me your favorite turn-based RPG. Mine, of course, is none other than Chrono Trigger. What can I say? I'm an Akira Toriyama fan here, and those who stayed to the end, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for being here. Please leave a comment down below. I love chatting with all of you, and I try to get to them as soon as possible, but I would also love to chat with you guys live at my Twitch channel. That's twitch.tv/D2Games. The link's in the description down below. I would love to meet each and every one of you, especially as I play Mario and Luigi. Stay awesome, have a beautiful night, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.